Every year around this time, whenever I would get asked the obvious question, what are you thankful for? I would get really annoyed when I was a teenager because, it's so easy when you're that age and with all that angst and whatever is going on in life that you do not have control of to be like, what am I supposed to be grateful for? Life sucks. This girl or guy broke up with me. It's finals and grades, and my family stresses me out, and whatever. Turn it into whatever Midwest emo song comes to mind. But as I've gotten older, as I've aged, it can be easy to fall into that trap if you are not conscious or like conscientious, deliberate in thinking about what you're grateful for. But I do think it's valuable to reflect, especially as we head into winter and as things get kind of cold and dreary and everyone gets more grumpy. I do think it's pretty valuable to reflect on the things that you do enjoy from the past year or whatever, and that, make your life better. The things that you do appreciate, the good things that happen this year, because when you make the effort to preserve memories, and I want to talk about this a lot, both here and on the art channel and whatever, with regards to like still carrying a camcorder with you or a digicam or whatever, and preserving your memories, to journal, maybe to do those kinds of things. When you make a deliberate effort to preserve the memories of the good things that happened during the year, and not all good, some of the bad too, be real, but you make a deliberate effort to preserve those memories. You make a deliberate effort to reflect on them and to really consider like what you really enjoyed from the past year or whatever block of time each year. It helps you learn from the experiences that you have instead of just being a victim to them. It helps you grow as a person, and it helps you have a better outlook, which makes you happier. It's not even about, just being nicer to other people, but actually being happier in the long run, because you get the perspective of being grateful for the things that you have. And obviously, no one, I'm not here to tell you if you're in a really crappy situation to take it with a smile, to turn the other cheek, to still be positive about the little scraps that should be the bare minimum or whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a lot of people really focus on the negative. And when you look back in 5-10 years, or whenever something does change and you start to miss what you have now, what are those things that you would miss? And I am very happy that I get to go into this year. I still find, what are you grateful for questions a little cringy, uncomfortable, whatever you would refer to it as, just because I don't always want to share it with other people. I appreciate the irony of me saying that as I'm literally sharing it in a video, but you know what I mean. It's different to spend the time to reflect, to think on these things, and then to put them out in somewhat of a controlled manner versus being put on the spot and whatever. But like, I look back and yeah, this year was really hard. This year was really scary in so many ways. The commentary I posted a couple months ago about, there is no payoff at the end. Something big, scary, and potentially, it wasn't, but potentially tragic happened this year. And this year continued to stay stressful, and it continued to stay expensive and scary in many ways. But at the same time, I'm looking back, especially after things have settled a little bit. I still have my family. I have a family. I have a wife. I have a kid. I have, my extended family that I'm going to go eat Thanksgiving lunch, dinner with. I have people in my life. I have my job. My job allows me copious amounts of creative freedom and schedule freedom that I would truly suffer without having at 9-to-5 jobs, as I quickly learned during my first retail jobs and suffered from panic attacks during them. My job is incredibly stressful. It is inherently a field that breeds neuroticism due to inconsistent results and lack of financial stability and lack of job security, but the good sides are huge. I am in an incredibly privileged position to even be making these videos and talking to you about it. And I'm grateful for that. I am eternally grateful that this time 10, 12 years ago, I was looking into the camera, buying my copy of Skyrim when it came out, and was like, yeah, I'm in college. I bought a video game. I just got out. I mean, at that point in time, I would have just gotten out of, or started getting out of, rather, not even fully out of, but started getting out of a really toxic and abusive relationship that was ruining my life, that was sending me down all sorts of dark paths. I was getting out of that, but I was not in a great place. And 12 years later, I know that's an arbitrary time. I'm just thinking back to a time where I would have been like, I've got nothing to be grateful for this year. I still had things going for me back then. But, 12 years later, I'm doing all right. I'm not in that kind of relationship anymore. I'm in an amazing relationship that is incredibly supportive and builds me up rather than tears me down. I have a home. I have my pets that I love dearly. I have my child that I love more than the world. He really grinds my gears sometimes. We're at that fun age, but he's my boy. I've got my job. I've got friends. I've got an incredible circle of contacts and people, colleagues, friendish people online in my space and in other spaces that allow me cool stuff, like borrowing a freaking PlayStation Portal so I can review it, which I would have never bought on my own, or allowing me to borrow some Neumann multi-$1,000 microphones to review on the main channel that I would have never had access to on my own. I am so grateful for the people in my life, both close and just kind of at a distance, and I'm just glad that I'm here 3 years after the world went to crap. And honestly, so many people lost their family members as we are getting rumors of another scary, mysterious disease from overseas showing up. I'm just glad that I'm here. I'm so grateful that I'm here and that I get to do what I do and that I still have the creative juices to do what I do. Because, really, so many people in my position have burned out and flamed out and, not continued. And I've always believed in the cringy line of it's better to burn out than to fade away. And, there's the candle that burns twice as bright, lasts half as long or whatever. But I'm still kicking, and I'm grateful that I am still discovering myself. I always thought that was just way overplayed. When I was a teenager, I was like, I'm discovering myself now, and the things that I know about myself, I know for sure. These are concrete facts, and they're never going to change. And ooh, boy. Turning 30 this year, I expected to make a video about that. I might still, just for sentimental sake, because I made a video about it when I turned 20. I figured it kind of means something to me. Maybe we'll do it every decade. But I am still discovering myself and growing myself. And the fact that I'm able to do that I'm not one of those people that gets stuck in whoever they were in high school and turns into a complete asshole and just never changes. I get to continue to grow, to flourish, to develop and learn so much more about myself, my identity, who I want to be and how I want to treat people and my interests. I've gone from, if we're jumping off of that 12 years ago point, someone who thought he was going to make his career making gaming videos, I guess, like this. It's ironic since I've started to back up. But, purely doing that with no other career interests, with everything else kind of falling apart in that regard, to someone who primarily, makes tech education videos and does tech writing for websites and also does gaming videos, but also does a lot more art now. Photography. I do some cool paint projects. I am really big into glitch art and have been for 6 years now? Been big into that and into mixed media kind of hands-on stuff and some digital artwork. And I'm helping produce a music label for royalty-free music for streamers and videos like I've been in these videos. We got a Christmas album coming out December 1st. Check it. All of these extra things, and I'm continuing to discover my creative journey as I go in ways that I never thought I would touch on again. I am so incredibly grateful for the life that I have and these things. I really hate the stressors. I hate worrying about money all the time. I hate stressing about supporting my family. I hate, the deadlines, the competition of my field of YouTube algorithm changes that continue to nuke my content and having to feel like I'm selling my soul and to reduce the creativity I get to explore in order to appease the algorithm gods or whatever. You know, there is a lot that I don't like, and that was only a tiny bit of that list. But all of that is outshined when you gain the right perspective by the gratitude that I feel for the things and the people, the experiences I do have. I got to go to Vancouver again this year to meet tons of you all, viewers. So many more than I could have ever possibly imagined. Coming up, saying hi, getting merch, taking pictures, whatever. Along with fellow creators, all of whom were super supportive. That was at LTX this year. Got to hang out at the LAN party. I've gotten to travel to a lot of places, usually like once a year. I've covered some really cool products this year. I've played some sweet games. I've sold a bunch of art pieces this year for the first time, which has been incredible. I launched my new shop with my OBS course in it, but also photo prints and my LUT packs and my VHS effect pack for Resolve. And I'm going to have some pins and some bootleg backing track merch coming. I have a lot going on right now. And this is not to brag. None of this is to brag. Like, in the grand scheme of things, in terms of like success and numbers and relevance, I am a fly in a swarm. Like, I am nothing compared to so many people. It's all just to say that I've worked my butt off. And while things are really stressful and will continue to be for years to come, there's a lot of good that comes from it. That you're not... I don't work for the weekend. I work for the enjoyment of the work. And when I step back from the Twitter drama, from the AI apocalypse, as it were, from the competition and the deadlines and the day-to-day stressors, there's a lot of good I get. And I think the same could be said for a lot of people. Maybe this was seen too much as a brag to people. Maybe this is just too much rambling, but I specifically wanted to... I still have some of the backlog commentaries I want to schedule out into December, so I have more time for stuff. But I wanted to sit down. It is the night before Thanksgiving, even though this will obviously go up a couple days after Thanksgiving. Just wanted to sit down and really just like express my gratitude. I am grateful to you listening to or watching this podcast or video right now, because it is supporting my ability to resume having gaming content in a way that is meaningful to me and reflective of my interests and relationship with gaming going on a regular basis. We just passed 3,000 subscribers here on Lost Saves, which is incredible. I remember the point where I hit 3,000 subscribers on my first gaming channel some 14 years ago. No, it's about 12 still. About that same time. I remember hitting that first 3,000 subscriber mark, and I worked so hard for that for years. I remember being blown away. It's just as sweet hitting it again. You all rule. I am so glad. It means so much to me to get to have this be a part of my life, but also to find a way to do it that isn't what I was trying to do last year of just like grinding out all of these kind of clickbaity videos for views and trying to gamify views. Like, I'm just sticking to a consistent series. I have some more one-off videos I want to do and some more high polished, like high production value stuff I want to do. But just doing the series and watching it, chug along and pick up some momentum. It's awesome, and it means the world to me. And I hope you had a great holiday. I hope you're having a great holiday weekend here. Hope you're not spending too much money. Remember, if you're buying cool stuff, to check Camel to make sure you're actually getting a low price, and to maybe see if it's the same price on the manufacturer's website or somewhere local, like mom and poppy, more indie stores that you could buy from instead of the big smiley face place or whatever. But yeah, hope you're doing great. Let me know what you're grateful for or what gets you thinking about those things in the comments below. And remember to be kind. Rewind.